Where I come up with vlog topics, I have no idea. It's like amazing how my mind works sometimes. Last week at work, I'm just, minding my business, and this stuff pops in my head about personal space issues. And then hugging at work, personal space issues. So today, I'm going to talk about it. Check out this little Amish Mobile. I'll wave to him. Hey, little donkey. Yeah, I think that was a donkey. I don't even know what the hell that was. So who has personal space issues at work? And for example, like I have to have a buffer. So that buffer is usually about 2 feet. And when people get in that little inside of that circle, it starts to like make me uneasy. And I don't know if you guys have these people like your job or anything, but you ever have close stalkers? The people that get right in your face. I mean, literally, they're probably about, 12 inches from your face, and they want to tell you their whole life story. And then I'm real subtle about it. I just kind of slowly just back away like a foot, and then they keep coming closer. And then I back away, and then they keep coming again. I'm like, how do I freaking tell these people to get out of my damn space, right? Close talkers, and if you ever watch Seinfeld, you know what I'm talking about. They have a great episode on that. It drives me crazy. But here's the funny thing. So I talk about how I don't want people in kind of like that circle. I call it the circle of trust, within that 2 feet of me. But I don't mind hugging. But what's a trip is the things that I noticed at work and how, like your greetings, how they've evolved. Who does handshakes anymore? I mean, rarely do I shake someone's hand anymore. It just seems like the handshake has evolved to the fist bump. The fist bump has evolved to hugging. So when someone comes down, they visit your site or anything, they come in and they say, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, and they come over and they give you a big hug, all right? And I'm like, all right, here, let's give me a hug. But I've noticed there were several different types of hugs. And, this is how I think I kind of analyze things. So I've broken it down into, I think, 2 or 3 different types. And then the first one is kind of like the most common one. I call it the tapper. And the tapper is that one that comes up, but it's like a bro hug, right? So it comes up and they give you a hug, and then they give you the tap, like the 2 to 3 obligatory tap on your back. Now, what do the taps signify? Is it like validation of the hug? That's what I don't understand. What happened just a common grab? But no, they got to add that tap in there. And then the number of taps seem to kind of change what it could be. So what if somebody comes up to you and then they do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, kind of awkward, right? Seems to signify something else. Like, hey, I'm really, really glad to see you. You get that extra 3 taps. You normally don't get you normally would just get the 2 to 3 taps because I haven't seen you in a while, you're gonna get the 6th tap. The second type is the tap and the slide. Now these are rare and they're a little bit awkward in a way. Now I haven't got a tap and a slide in a while, but this is the tap and the slide. When someone comes up, they give you a hug, they tap you, but then they slowly slide that hand down your back. Or it could be fast, but they tap you and they go like this, up and down. A little awkward, right, at work? Now, if again, I know somebody, it's fine. But somebody at work, it seems like more of a sympathetic type hug. And you know what I mean by that? So that they come up to you and they're like, slow tap, down slide, real slow. It's like, hey, you're about to get fired, but at least I'm greeting you. And the third one, and I can't stand this, and this happens a lot. These are the people that won't commit to the hug. It's like that half-ass hug. This is the people where they'll stand about a foot from you, and then they'll lean over, and they'll just slowly tap you, and they back away. Like they don't want to have any pelvic contact whatsoever. Just see it through. If you're gonna commit to the hug, do the whole thing. Do the embrace, do the tap, do the freaking slide if you want to. If you want, do a damn grab. I don't care. But just don't do it half-ass. So do you guys get that crap at work? I mean, do you see this? Am I the only one that sees this? And again, take this, with a grain of salt. So if you're with your family, totally different, right? I mean, that's totally cool. You're with great friends. I mean, when I haven't seen friends for a while, I'll give them a long hug. I'll give them the tap. I'll even do the slide. But this is just pure work. So it's kind of awkward, huh? So let me know your thoughts about that. So as I'm talking to the people I work with, I start telling them, I'm like, here, I'm having these thoughts. And most of them, honestly, at work, they don't watch these videos. I don't go around at work and tell people about them. It's kind of like my separate thing away from work. But I start telling them, like, I got this thought about like touching and the space and then the hugging and everything. And one of them said, did you know you're an ass tapper? I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, you're an ass tapper. And I'm like, what the hell is an ass tapper? You mean like I grab your ass? They're like, no, not really. You just, whenever you recognize us, you pat us on the butt. And I'm like, I've never patted you on the ass. Are you kidding me? I said, that's a sexual harassment suit waiting to happen. They're like, no, not necessarily with your hand, but like if you have a notebook, you'll tap. And I'm like, guys, I'm sorry. Like, I'm mortified. Now, I know I'm a back tapper, but I'm not a butt tapper. There's a big difference between butt and back. So I'll always go around and tell them, hey, great job, tap them on the back. I appreciate that. I mean, I grew up in sports. I played sports when I was younger. So that was culture. That was culture to go ahead, hey, that a boy, great job. And yeah, did the guys go through and tap them on the ass? Absolutely. But I don't do that crap at work. So now I'm going around paranoid that I'm an ass tapper. So I told them, I'm like, dude, if you guys like see me doing that, please stop me. They're like, well, you do it all the time. I'm like, oh, that's freaking awesome. Please don't call HR on me. So I'm going to end it with a story. So I was about 9-10 years ago, and this was when handshakes were normal. You'd go in, hey, nice to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you, ma'am. And it was before it's evolved in kind of like the fist bump, right? Before it's evolved into now the form of communicating of hugging, right? So I was with a peer of mine, and we were going to this leadership symposium or something. And at this place, there were all these bigwigs for this company I was working for, people that are pretty high up on the chain. So I was going to meet a couple of them. So as I go in, met a couple people, it's normal handshake. One of my friends, one of my peers, says, hey, I want to introduce you to this, let's just call him Bob. Bob looks at me and grabs me, literally pulls me into him, gives me a big bear hug, and like gives me multiple taps, I mean more than I could count, and he pulls away and he says, what's up, my brother? And I froze. I didn't know what to do. And I just like, I looked at the guy next to me, and his eyes were big, and then all of a sudden I just looked at him and I said, right on, brother. and then the guy next to me just looks at me, he's shaking his head, he's like, you're an idiot. All right, everybody, I want everyone to have a great freaking awesome day. Be good out there. If you like this kind of stuff, give me a subscribe, give me a like. I'll talk to you guys soon.